I would say half of the travelers who come to us have no reasons to travel.
People aren't that crazy, yeah. They're quite generic in what they're looking for.
Today, as we speak, right, there will be about 1,500 people traveling with Veena World in some part of the world.
What is the main reason Indian people travel?
People are so busy with their lives, whether it's with respect to work, whether it's respect to their household responsibilities. Everyone is looking for an escape.
What is the craziest community activity?
People from 25 different nationalities in the hostel. We opened the kitchen for them and told them, you guys have to cook.
Master Chef ही चला दिया आपने kitchen में. How do you ensure in a foreign country that everybody's dietary restriction is met properly?
People will tell you that they are non-vegetarian, but when an anda curry comes to them, they don't like it and they're like, oh, nahi, aaj main vegetarian hu, I'll have the pizza.
In the evening, we do a lot of live events, stand-up comedies.
But also who stand-up comedy you have invited? Please.
No, so these are
They've not invited me. I'm very curious. Just please tell names.
you are out of our budget.
Hello, friends. Welcome to one more episode of the Superleap podcast. Superleap is, of course, one AI-powered sales CRM platform which can power your sales team for their peak productivity. Today's episode is about travel and stay. Yes, friends, it's holiday season and everybody's planning a travel or traveling somewhere. Your parents are traveling, your kids want to travel, you want to travel for different reasons. Some people are traveling for vacations, some are traveling to stay at a villa to enjoy a happy birthday. Some people want to go to Europe and enjoy the world also, and some people want to backpack through the country. And for all those, there's a whole industry about travel and stay, and we have the leaders of the industry today with us. Hello, leaders.
Hello.
Hi.
We have Neil Patil. You're the founder and CEO and CTO of Veena World, which is you give package tours and travels across India and international everywhere.
Yep.
Till Antarctica also.
Yeah, Antarctica. You should really go.
Yeah, that's crazy. We have Amit Damani. You're the co-founder and CEO of StayVista, which is luxurious villa properties, and you are the leader, the largest.
Yes, we have close to 1,000 villas across the country that we manage.
That's amazing. And we have Pranav Dangi. You're the founder and CEO of Hosteller,
Yes.
which is a backpacker chain of hostels
Yes.
for students and young professionals.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes. So we cater to travelers from India and as well as abroad. We have a lot of people who come from multiple countries in the world and we host them. So yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Before I move forward with my questions, I just want to know a little bit of how did you guys get into this? Okay. So I'll start with Amit.
Sure.
And then we all can go. Yeah.
Sure. So I'm one of the three founders. So the three of us got together. I call it an arranged marriage because we didn't really know each other before we started StayVista. It's been close to 10 years now that we've been running StayVista. And one person who connected us said, ki aap teeno milo. And I think all three of you will really hit it off and be able to create something in the travel and hospitality industry. What we connected on was group travel. All three of us have grown up in big joint families, big fat Indian family, jaise bolte hai, sab saath mein travel karte, hum saath hai style. That's typically how we've traveled, whether it's in India or abroad. And I think what we connected with was, jab group mein jate hai sab jan, when you stay at a home, you feel you can spend really good quality time together versus staying in a hotel jahan pe aap rooms mein you get sort of cocooned. And you just meet in the restaurant. वो restaurant भी 10-11 बजे बंद हो जाता है तो वापस रूम में बैठना पड़ता है साथ में. Versus in a home, you're spending quality time together in the hall. No one is telling you to go lights off, go to your rooms. You can sit there till 2-3 a.m. You have your own private lawn, you have your own private pool. So it really is conducive for spending great time together as a family or with friends. So that's how we've always traveled. And we felt in India, the entire villas or holiday home segment existed in terms of you could book these properties, but you weren't sure what kind of experience you'll get. And that was lacking a brand that relied on an experience you could get. And that's what we said, let's solve for this. Let's really cater to these group travelers who want to go spend quality time and we'll take care of everything for them.
Got it. Sorry, one question. You opened for Teach for India before this?
Yes.
Yeah. And then you switched to this. How did the switch happen? I'm just curious.
Yeah, great question. So just to give you a sense of my trajectory. I think just again growing up in a joint family, the concept has always been about a community, right? Everything is shared. Whether it's my room, which was shared with 5 other kids, or whether it's the food or your clothes, everything was shared amongst all of us. So that concept was always about like working closely with your family to achieve something together, not just key individually. You need to get your own great marks, or you need to help your sibling as well to do well. So I think that was really important for me. There's just that sense of community that has been there always since growing up. And then Teach for India, interestingly, obviously was very passionate about education and socioeconomic development in India, but it was all about a community of, we called it education leaders that the program was trying to create. So there were 100 plus Teach for India fellows who were placed in government schools all across the country that was trying to improve the educational outcomes of these students. But all 100 of us were together trying to solve this problem. So there was this strong sense of community. We lived together. We tried understanding what are the problems we want to solve. And we really supported each other. And I think that community sense is very important to me. And when we started building out StayVista, it's again about catering to that community, those guests that stay together. You're really trying to create those experiences for them as a family, as a group that, they'll cherish forever. So
wow,
that's
amazing. That's great. And speaking of community, Neil, you have solved a big problem, I think, because I've been trying to send my parents on a vacation, but very difficult to send them alone. Then need to go in a community. How did this start? How did you get into this?
So just taking a cue from Amit, I'm one of 4 founders. We set up Veena World in 2013, and the whole idea behind it was that today, anyone listening to this or anyone traveling, for that matter, just with their family, there's always invariably one person who's deciding where to eat, who's going to pick us up the next day, what's going to happen, what is it about our flights and all of that. And we found this as a massive niche in the entire travel industry, where everyone was going out and booking hotels, flights, sightseeing and all of that. But that one person who really is planning on a holiday doesn't really have a holiday because still stressed, right? And we found that across the segment. And that's why the tagline was that you book a holiday and you enjoy while we handle the rest. It started with this basic idea, and it's not like we invented group tours. Group tours have existed for a couple of centuries now, right? But we wanted to bank on the blue ocean of service, because if I take you to the Eiffel Tower and I show you the Eiffel Tower, you'll be like, whether I come with Veena World or any other travel company, it's still the same, right? So we really wanted to achieve service excellence, and India's a market that is based on price. The higher your net worth, the more stingy you are, I guess. So we wanted to make the world affordable was the whole tagline. So whether it's Goa or whether it's Antarctica, we have tours today to all across.
You have Antarctica tours?
Antarctica as well, yeah.
People go?
Yeah, I have.
How many people? What?
Yeah.
How
It was like
go in a year?
Generally, there will be 2 or 3 expeditions that we'll do. This year, we are doing an expedition in December, and it's not...
It's summer in Antarctica.
Which is summer in Antarctica.
Yeah, okay.
Sun never sets. People will come out of their rooms and be like, I can't get sleep because there's no night outside, right? So, we do all of that. And today, as we speak, right, there will be about 1,500 people traveling with Veena World in some part of the world. So, it was built with that, and we are seeing that India is such a market where today all 3 of us are here, and all 3 of us are from different parts of the travel industry, and there's so much opportunity that all 3 of us can grow in a large way if you just give great service. So for us, Veena World was always about the service.
Wow. Sorry, everything great, but this Antarctica thing, it's really like gotten my attention. Is this the most, difficult hostile terrain that you go to, or are there any other places?
Let's talk about how you get to Antarctica, right? There are 3 ways to get to Antarctica. One is from South America, one is from South Africa, and one is from Australia. We do the South American route. So you fly from here to Argentina, and in Argentina, there is a city called Ushuaia, which is, up until a couple of years ago, it was the southernmost city in the world. Now you might ask, up until a couple of years ago, matlab kya? So there was, in Chile, there was a village, but Chile wanted that city to be the southernmost city. So they changed the classification of a village to a city and made that the southernmost city. So you go to Ushuaia and then you take a cruise. And this is not like your regular cruise where you're going to have a casino and all of that. It's an expedition ship. You cross something called the Drake Passage. Apparently the second most choppiest waters in the world. So the 2 days, I'm just vomiting. But if you take your seasickness tablet, the vomiting is less intense, but it's still there. And when you get there, and then like you see icebergs, you see penguins, killer whales, seals, you can camp on one of the mountains in Antarctica. You can do a polar plunge where you jump into the waters. You'll probably stay there 1 or 2 seconds and they pull you out. And they have like vodka shots kept right out there so that you can warm your body. So it is a pretty cool trip. And to be honest, anyone can do it. The oldest person who did Antarctica with us over the last couple of years has been someone who was 73 years old.
Where was he from?
Bombay, Mumbai.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's what happens when you're stuck in Bombay traffic. You're like, Antarctica.
उधर ही जाते हैं.
That's amazing. And how much it costs to go to Antarctica? Just
Including the flights with Veena World, it will cost you probably anywhere between 13 to 15 lakhs all in.
13 to 15 lakhs.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're watching this and you want to go to Antarctica, then we have special 12 lakh trip for you.
Biswas gonna put the extra on top of it.
Great. That's amazing. Pranav, how did you get into this business?
Okay, so I am from non-hospitality. I was studying in MBA, and during the second year, I got the chance to go for a student exchange program. So this was back in 2011. So when I went there, I had a saving of 5 lakh rupees from my previous jobs. So that was the budget that I had. The day I landed in Paris, the first week I was staying in hotels. Now hotels were costing me around 150 euros a night, and I thought कि ऐसे ही चलेगा, तो I think a week I'll be here and then I'll have to go back. So then I stayed there for a couple of days. Went to the reception, asked the guy that is there a sasta jugaad in the country, in the city. So he said, why don't you go and try backpacker hostels? Till then, I had no idea what a backpacker hostel was. This was 2011. And I was in a country where it was my first time. I had no Instagram at that point in time. The only source of information was Google. So he said, go try a backpacker hostel. The first one I went to, luckily the couple who ran the hostel, I had been to India. They loved Indian food and I cook. So my mom had packed a few masalas with me for the 4-month journey that I went to. So we did a barter. They said, cook for us in the evening for a few nights that you want to stay, and we'll let you stay for free. So I stayed there for 4 days, cooked in the evening for myself. The normal stuff, the Indian stuff, sabzi and some chapatis and
I'm a French
things.
look.
Yes. So that was how I started. That was the first experience that I had. Absolutely free, no cost. Whereas I was spending 600 euros over the 4 nights, I spent 0. And then eventually in Europe, during my 4-month stay, I stayed in more than 50 brands. Came back to India, started traveling. That bug that hooked on to me, and I started traveling, figuring out where backpacker hostels were. But then to my surprise, there were none in the country at that point in time. Plus, I was in Europe all alone, solo backpacking, did not know what to do, what not to do. So hostels provided a platform for me to know the city, to do what, to not do a few things. And then met a lot of people from different parts of the world over there. Came back, as I said, there were no backpacker hostels at that point in time. So traveled extensively in the country, figured out where these backpackers were staying, where the budget travelers were staying. And to my surprise, they were staying in very shabby guest houses, bed and breakfast, hotels. And that was the trigger, I think, that prompted me to start a backpacker hostel. We did the first one in Jaipur, 5-room. Today, we are operating around 3,500 rooms in the country. That was the first property. It ran successfully, the first, second, third one, and that gave us the platform to build many more. Today, we operate around 60 properties in the country. We have hosted more than 10 lakh travelers so far. And I think given the size of our country, with various diverse, I would say, geographies ranging from rivers to deserts to mountains, religious tourism. I think India is a market for almost 5 to 10,000 hostels in the next 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an amazing story.
Thank you.
Do you give do you have an option where somebody can just cook and instead
Yes.
and then they can stay in a hostel?
Yes. We have
What? You actually have?
Yes, we have all those features. We have common kitchens also. People can bring their own ingredients and then they can cook. The only thing that they have to do is to clean the kitchen after they cook. That's so. As Amit said, our concept is primarily built on the community living concept. People from different backgrounds, different countries come together. They become friends. They do a lot of activities. We take them on walks, tours, hikes, adventure activities, and our hostels are, I would say, a place where people can come from different parts of the globe and still live under the same roof and in the same room. So yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of backpacker hostels.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh my God. In first 10 to 15 minutes, we have hit so many crazy things here. Amazing. Great. My first question to all of you, I mean, second question technically, is there, like, what is the main reason Indian people travel? I know it's not a simple answer, but what are some of the main reasons that you guys see? Any of you can.
I can go first.
Yeah, go for
You
it.
guys add.
Yeah.
I think I would say there's been a big transition in the way people think about travel, right? Initially, travel was about ticking off places that you go to. So it's this bucket list piece versus, and COVID, I think, played a role in the way people think about travel very differently now, is that travel has become a necessity. It's no longer a luxury. So I need to like go and escape whatever I do on a day-to-day basis. People are so busy with their lives, whether it's with respect to work, whether it's respect to their household responsibilities, everyone is looking for an escape. That escape is really important for people to feel rejuvenated and reconnect with themselves or with their friends, family, etc. So travel has just become a necessity for people. So they're thinking about doing it on a regular basis. Versus earlier, क्या होता था? 2 trips होते थे max in a year. One national trip, one international trip. Now that's completely changed. People might be doing international trips, but domestically they'll keep traveling. Every couple of months they'll think about, okay, I want to go here with this group of mine. I want to go here with that group of mine. Whether it's your kids' parents in their school and their other parents of the kids in that school, or whether it's with your college friends reunion, or whether it's with office colleagues, everyone is looking for reconnecting with folks that they'd like to, or they're just looking for a solo trip and, just spending quality time on their own. But it's become a necessity where people are constantly looking for ways to escape their day-to-day.
Got it. Very interesting, because I do the same stuff also. And I've noticed I think this also because there are more airports and places in India is more
better connected, right?
Yeah. And also international travel has become a little more affordable for us also.
And it's all age groups, right? Whether it's a 18-year-old or whether it's a 80-year-old, everyone is traveling.
Yeah.
An 18-year-old, earlier a lot of folks would not be allowed to travel, right? Most parents would be like, padhai kar pehle, phir sochenge. But now there is that sort of freedom that's come in that everyone's seeking and wanting to, try out. Versus even an 80-year-old would be very worried, like, kaise travel karenge? Medical requirements kuch aa jayenge to kya karenge? Transport kya hoga? Languages, language barriers, all of that has just got simplified over time. There's so much service and assistance people get.
Yeah. I'll phrase this question slightly in a different way for you. Depending on different needs, you would have different packages, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the packages that you have that will tell us what are the needs?
So just to give you an example, right? Senior citizens would find it difficult to think about safety, security at the time of traveling. So we have something that we launched called Senior Citizens Tours. We found that women like going on tours when they're not going with family, just with like other like-minded women. So we have something called Women Special Tours. We also found, like, our product research teams found that, in India, the concept of arranged marriages exists and is prevalent all across society, where you are made to meet someone today, tomorrow you're engaged, a month and a half later you're married, and suddenly the next day your family sent you on a honeymoon, right? You will find yourself in Bangkok at Suvarnabhumi airport, one with the aim of wanting to please your partner, but at the same time you're in a non-English speaking country and you want to also cast an impression on your partner because you've still not broken the ice, right?
Yeah.
So we came up with honeymoon special tours. The industry ridiculed us because they were like, how can there be tours for honeymooners, right? Honeymoon is... but people come to that because at the end of the day, we are saying the same thing, right? You enjoy with your loved one while a tour manager handles the rest. We found out that in India, grandparents want to spend more time with their grandchildren without the parents.
What?
So we came up with grandparent and grandchildren tours, right? And the idea behind that was a lot of the kids have gone off to America, the UK and all of that. And they've settled there. They've had kids there. Grandparents get what? 2 weeks in a year that they can spend with these grandchildren. So the idea was that the grandparents fly from here to Europe. Grandchildren come from the States or the UK. They meet there. They spend 14, 15 days on a tour without the parents. And because then it's more liberating, right? And that also kind of worked. So more so travel now, according to me, is like an investment. And I often tell not only the teams at Veena World, but in the industry also, that the biggest competition we have are the mutual fund companies and the automobile companies, because you putting an SIP in a mutual fund is something you could have used for travel at not only a Veena World, but at Hosteller or StayVista, right? So it's more of an investment. Why you need to do that investment? Everyone has figured that out post-COVID, that you want to just invest in yourself, not think 20 down, but like you want to really stay in the moment. So there are different needs that you want to fulfill. And given the onset of social media, given the onset of how much information is thrown at us, it has become easy. But at the same time, people want to also show off in some way or the other to their friends and family, right? So there are different reasons that people travel, but India's so dynamic that, you know, there is someone who caters to every need.
Yeah. Amazing. And that's very interesting. You mentioned grandparents, grandchildren, tour, etc. Sorry, this is my personal question. Like, I have noticed that my parents, if they travel with me, they will enjoy less. Instead, if they travel with some people of other parents, then they have very similar interests. Like, they'll go to a museum. They have no interest in the museum. They'll be like, "Humko ek cheez dekhna hai idhar."
They can complain to those parents about you also.
And get out. So is it like, is it a big cultural shift that now Indian parents go in tours and just travel Europe, the world, etc.?
I would say it's not a big cultural shift, but say sons and daughters like you also find it comforting when they're going with a trusted company, right? And for our senior citizens tours, let's say we'll have not one tour manager, but 2 tour managers taking care of them. The pace will be slightly slower. So all of those things are really taken care of. And yes, you're right that people enjoy more because, one, they are like-minded people. Age group is more or less the same. The plan is not like, okay, let's go to Disneyland and sit on a roller coaster. It's more about history, culture, food and all of that. So it is comforting for the people sending them also. And we have seen people, just connecting to what Amit said, that people are not traveling once or twice a year. Senior citizens can travel all through the year. So we have people who have booked like 6-7 trips with us across the year, because you could go to Japan during the cherry blossoms, then Europe must be good in the winter. So people are just ready to travel. It's just that you have to show them the direction and they'll probably jump on that flight.
Amazing. At hostels, but I guess you get more of like young workers, students, etc.
Yeah. So, as Amit and Neil said, there are reasons for people to travel pertaining to the sector or the type of business they are in. I would say for a hostel, I would say half of the travelers who come to us have no reasons to travel. They have absolutely no reasons. For example, if I am in Bombay and it's a Saturday and Sunday, I have an off and I have nothing to do over here, I don't have friends who are available at that point in time, I would go to a hostel in Lonavala and spend the weekend over there. There are 2-3 factors that plays here. First is the price point. To go to Amit's stays, the StayVista, people need to plan. People need to have a group. They need to have budgets. To go international with Veena World, there is definitely a planning that needs to be in place. But to come to a hostel, I think with a lot of current times moving towards online social media, online connections, people are getting lonelier every day.
Got it.
They are alone at their home. So hostels provide that platform where people who are solo. So we have a 50% solo traveler contribution to our total travelers. So people who are lonely, they come to hostels. They meet other people, and I think that's the best way to travel. A lot of people we have seen came for 2 nights and spent almost 14-15 nights at hostels because they like the experience. They like the type of people who were around while they were staying with us, and they stayed for as long as they could. People have cancelled their flights, their trains, just because I think travel in particular our sector has no reason. There are reasons. The people come for adventure, leisure, getting away. But a lot of people have no reason. Maybe they are writing a book, they are researching on something, they're freelancing, they're working out of their homes, and they're bored working from their homes. They want to have a change of scenery, so they come to our hostel. So I would say, when the price point is a little lesser, we sell things at below 1,000 rupee price range, and then the I would say the reasons become lesser. It's more about availability of time and their willingness to travel. So I think for hosteler, a lot of people have no reasons to come to.
So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
That लोग flight rate cancel करके
Yes.
so you must be planning a lot of activities around the hostel.
Yes.
Right?
So we do. Anyone who comes to our hostels, we have 3 things that we do while they're staying with us for a 24-hour stay. We do an afternoon tour, which is a free walking tour, where they get to know who the hostelers are, particularly the staff, the community managers, and we get to know who the guests are, why they have come to a particular destination. In the evening, we do a lot of live events, stand-up comedies, movie nights, I would say pub crawls and different things. And in the morning, we have a morning tour. It can range from a photography tour to a city walk to a morning sunrise tour. So we do a lot of things, such things. And I think apart from that, we do regularly a few events, which are big scale events, which may be around 300-400 people, which is for our community. As I said, we have hosted more than 10 lakh travelers so far. So we get a lot of such people who are looking to attend to events. So in December this year, we're planning a desert festival in Jaisalmer.
Okay.
So that's going to be one of a kind of travel festival, which does not really happen in the country. There are a lot of music festivals that happen, but travel as a concept does not have any festival around it. So yeah, we do all those sort of things.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so it's so amazing to see the range of people that travel, because I have not done the hostel thing, I think. But also whose stand-up comedy you have invited, please?
So these are
They have not invited me. I'm very curious. Just please tell names.
you are out of our budget.
No, I'll be very much.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's so I've not done the hostel thing. I think I've done no, I have not done. But I've done the villa thing, and then I've also tried to do this one for my parents. And it's amazing that even within the same family, you might have 5 different requirements for travel. Which brings me to the next question, which is there a shift in how the older generation used to travel versus the new generation travels? We'll start with you only, Amit.
Is there a difference in the way older generation versus new generation? I think I feel all the generations are adapting, which I would say India really is. I mean, people in India are very adaptable. Like, say, even my parents, right? They are 60 plus and they would barely travel earlier, right? It was again that domestic travel and international trip karte the. But now with their group of friends, as we speak right now as well, they're in Kunur, there for a 3-day holiday with this group of 8 people that they travel at least 2 or 3 times a year. And then he has another group with which he travels once a year, right? So just picking on what Neil was saying earlier, that there are some of these senior citizens especially who now just constantly keep thinking about traveling on a regular basis. If they are at a stage where, they don't have to be in office on a day-to-day basis, once they have that group of people they love traveling with, they're on the go all the time. And I think that's great to see. Before this, I don't think my dad, since his honeymoon, traveled with my mom, right? Like,
Wow.
like it was like more or less like chutti ho gaye. Only if there was some religious travel to be done, then they would go alone or with the family or with friends. So that's sort of that evolution that I'm seeing with seniors. And then I think with the younger generation, it's constantly about social media, right? So that social credit is what everyone is looking to gather. So they want to showcase, and from an investment point of view, right? Like you're investing in showing everything you're doing to enjoy life. Unfortunately, only the positive sides a lot of times get showcased on social media, and a large part of positive, influences in your life is travel. So you want to show that I went to this place, or this is what I did when I went here, and that feeds into what you do as well as your peers do. Whether it's solo travel, whether it's going to a villa with a group of friends to celebrate your birthday, but it's capturing those moments and showing it everywhere is definitely something we've seen part of travel.
Like, you reminded me of something actually. So my dad used to work in a bank, and बैंक में compulsory होता है 4 साल में आपको एक बार कुछ तो LTC क्या बोलते हैं उसको. So when I was, I think, 6 or 7 years old, we took this 21-day package travel across North India, like Odisha se Gujarat tak.
Nice.
Yeah, that tour we did. It was so bad. It was so bad, it was so bad. I mean, I was a kid, so I was just uncomfortable the whole time, like sitting in the bus, and the roads were bad, and it's just staying in a place, you don't like the food, etc., etc., etc. It was so bad that my dad, for the next 20 years, he preferred to take the money instead of taking the travel option. So that was the last time actually we traveled, and that's why actually I developed a travel phobia because of that thing. But obviously because of my job, then I had to get back to it. And then I was like, oh, travel is not that bad. It's not that bad. So yeah, I mean, like you're mentioning, older generation, younger generation, there's a huge, huge difference. I remember like the first time I sat in a flight to go to Delhi, and I was so nervous. Chocolate, मैं चुरा के ले रहा था एयर होस्टेस से बहुत सारा. And now it's like you take a flight almost every month or every week almost.
Yeah.
People are taking flights, and it's changed so much. What changes have you noticed, Neil?
One thing I've noticed, and probably not for the best thing, is Amit said that you want to showcase your life's experiences, right? But one thing is that we have become a generation, whether it's old or new, based on reviews, right? And if you have a bad experience, right, guaranteed you will put a review.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll proudly tell you on this public podcast today, Veena World's TripAdvisor rating today is probably 3.2 out of 5. Okay. Veena World has done about 8 lakh travelers in the last 10 years. TripAdvisor has 37 reviews or 42 reviews or something like that. Now, we are a company that believes that I'm not going to force you, sorry, put a review on social media, put a review on this. So we found out that people have a good experience, they will email you or they will just tell you, "Arey, acha tha." But if people have a bad experience, they are ready to pull you down as a company, right? And we have seen that shift in the market post-COVID also, because there are multiple things that people can write about. So that one shift has happened. Then at the start of the podcast, you mentioned AI, right? AI algorithms have come in. So there were a few people who came to us saying that your TripAdvisor review is bad or your other rating is bad. Like, we'll not travel with you. So I was like, okay, 1,500 travelers traveling with Veena World every single day. I'll start sending the TripAdvisor link instead of the basic link. But when 700 odd travelers are putting reviews suddenly on TripAdvisor, AI thinks that these are bots that are putting it. So the change that we have seen is for all of the great things that Amit mentioned, but we are also a generation that has become, whether old or new, really based on reviews. You'll order a cheese on Instamart based on a review. You will decide whether I want to stay at the StayVista property based on a review. And for all the 10 reviews that you read, one bad review really influences your decision to not go to that particular thing. So that's one change that we have seen. A second change that we have really seen how travel has evolved is people are deciding much later. Earlier, people used to decide 6 months in advance that, okay, we are here in October or November, I want to go in May to Europe. But today, a visa takes a certain amount of time for certain countries. Some countries are visa on arrival. So people are deciding 10 days in advance that, okay, I'm ready to go to the US, right? And if there is something that is there for you, people just jump onto it. So if you ask any of the domestic airlines in India, they will tell you that their flight to Delhi 15 days hence is only 30% sold today. You are not able to forecast how much people are going to travel because the actual sale happens 10 days before the flight actually takes off. So, and that's not only the case domestically, but internationally as well. But the opportunity still exists. People want to travel. It's just that in that sweet spot of 10 days to 30 days before the actual date, if you are able to get your product out there, you might see a lot of results.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree with the point that 10 days advance you book for Delhi, but if you want to go to South Bombay, then you have to plan a month.
Yeah.
Or if South Bombay wants to come to Andheri, they need a visa.
Yeah. It's that's the case. Farther is actually, but very interestingly, when you're saying, I just realized that my wife and my in-laws had gone to travel for Thailand. Like, it's a good place to take parents. Food is similar, etc., and it's cheaper also. And I had not gone because I had some shows, and then one of my shows got cancelled, so I could actually make it. So at 8 p.m. I decided, and by 12 p.m. I was on the flight. And next day I managed to. It's just visa on arrival.
Yeah,
I was just there.
It's so easy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's so crazy.
It's become too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I had gone for a corporate show to Bali, and like you guys are saying, this social media thing, I tried booking a day tour, and the package comes with, I'll show you this place, and I'll take photos in this place.
Yeah.
Okay. And the guy is saying, come at 4 a.m., come at 4 a.m. Why would somebody want to go at 4 a.m.? It's because he starts at 4 a.m. and at 6 a.m. you land at the exact temple where there's a spot where the sun comes out and you take the photo, etc.
Yeah.
And then he told us Bali was nothing before 2015-16. And then Bali government or Indonesian government just promoted to influencers. Influencers came.
Yeah.
And they made the entire place, and now people just go take photos at the exact place, and then it's done. It's crazy.
That's very valid, right? Because when influencers go, we've seen that with Vietnam as well. The destination is top of mind. And today, if a destination doesn't promote itself through the influencer route, you'll see a Ranveer Singh talk about Abu Dhabi in a month, and then later on, if there's nothing, then you might forget Abu Dhabi. So every destination is really fighting for that top of mind place in your mind.
Yeah.
And it's become a very competitive space.
Yeah. Pranav, what do you think? Like, your industry didn't exist only for the older generation.
So I'll tell you, we don't serve the older spectrum of people. For obvious reasons, I would say the people who come to us are more experiential, younger generation, and also foreigners who visit the country. But as Neil said, we are, I would say, exactly opposite. in terms of reviews and ratings. I think we have more than 1 lakh reviews combined for all our 60 properties, and we receive 7,000-8,000 reviews every month. And the biggest and the most important part is we have to be very cautious of what the guests are writing on the reviews. So, and it becomes a very important factor for the incoming travelers to select which hostel, which hotel to go to.
Yeah.
The other thing is, which is I would say, social media marketing, influencer, and all of it. And we have taken a cue from that and have inbuilt that into our expansion strategy. So what we do is we study social media trends, we study social mentions, we study the reviews and ratings on various platforms, and then we determine which place to open next. Like, for example, everyone knows Manali. Manali is a well established travel destination, but people are now moving to a lot of villages which are, let's say, 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers ahead of Manali. And there are a lot of mentions that are coming now on social media. Like, there's a place called Sissu, which is 20 kilometers ahead of Manali. So that becomes a starting point for us that, okay, a lot of traction is coming from these hashtags, and these are the places that we should open at. So I think a lot of it has changed. When you compare the older generation, I still remember, if my grandfather had a train at 7 o'clock in the evening, he used to be ready at 10 o'clock in the morning, and he used to sit in the veranda and wait when to leave to the train station. So, but today's in today's world, I think younger generation has become has become fearless. They can plan a trip within an hour, within half an hour. They don't worry about the transportation because they know that there'll be a lot of like-minded younger generation people might be traveling to, let's say, a particular destination. They can hop on with them. So yes, I mean, a lot has changed. People have. I think we have a few. So I have a team called Supply Team who looks into business expansion. The head of supply is my patchmate from my MBA days. His Instagram handle his Instagram handle earlier was Organized Traveler. Now he has changed it to Unorganized Traveler. So I mean, that's how younger generation has changed their perspective towards travel. It's not like before, definitely.
Got it.
Yeah.
You said you get 7,000, 8,000 reviews per month.
Yes.
Yeah, and you get you got how many reviews?
On my email, I'll get about 75,000 reviews a year.
Yeah.
In an online forum, there will be about 100 reviews, which gives companies where those reviews have been posted a chance to contact me to do reputation management.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's such a great this thing, because you're getting emails and you're getting reviews. I think it's because of the generational gap.
Yes, the channels that they use are also very different.
Yeah, like
More so, I would say the good reviews tend to come to you.
Yeah,
where
okay.
It's not like the good reviews is, I don't want to pull this company down.
Yeah.
I want to tell people about it. The bad reviews is when some people often get vengeful, and like whenever something, see, on a Veena World tour, right? You're booking a flight with me, a hotel or multiple hotels, all meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, transfers, sightseeing, everything together. Now, when all of this is happening, a flight can get delayed. There can be a bus tire puncture. A vegetarian might find a fish bone in a paneer makhanwala in Kathmandu, right? Anything can go wrong.
Yeah.
Now, when such things go wrong, companies like us exist so that we are there for you when something like that goes wrong.
Got it.
But sometimes, if something goes wrong, that actually makes it to a public forum, and then you can't really do much about it, right? But we have seen over the last 10 years, word of mouth really gets out there, and coming onto podcasts like this also helps, because we can also tell people what it actually is, right?
Got it. And Amit, for you, does the review work both ways? Like, you also review the customer that stays or not?
Yeah, actually we do. One, luckily people in hospitality, especially when it comes to hotels or homes or hostels, people are very comfortable giving reviews, right?
Yeah.
Or for restaurants. So at least for us, it's very easy to get those reviews. People are very open to giving it, whether it's online or offline. And for us, it is a reverse system as well, that any guest who stays with us, we also give them a review. And if someone came in and, partied and just sort of trashed the house in any way, we will give a review to ensure that those guests are not hosted not only by us, by others as well. So it sort of becomes a system by which you're trying to remove as many rotten apples that are there and somewhere be respectful for the experiences people should be having.
Amazing.
But was that a big challenge when you started, where people would come and maybe trash the place or something?
No, not really.
No.
Honestly, that's a fear a lot of people have.
Yeah.
But 99.9% of guests are coming there and spending time as we would, right, with our friends or family. So it's just that in certain circumstances, if someone went a little out of control with the alcohol, things might go out of place. But that's a very rare scenario that takes place. Most of our homeowners, right, who build these beautiful homes are so attached to it. It was a labor of love कि मैं एक बड़ा घर बनाऊंगा, मेरे तरीके से बनाऊंगा, and this is where I'm going to retire. And the biggest worry is कि like आकर कोई मेरा टेबल खराब कर देगा तो क्या होगा? And we tell them we've been doing this for the last 9-10 years now, and no one has done that.
So
right? So
on these lines, we have done a very interesting thing. On the back of the door in the room, we have put a price list. Okay, so the bed is this much, the mattress is this much, the bed sheet is this much, and we have written it very quirky, in a very quirky manner, that if you party really hard, please take care of the prices mentioned below. If you damage anything, we generally don't charge. That becomes a deterrent for people to party or whatever.
Awesome. Guys, go party. Go party at Hosteller. I think they're very forgiving. Bed लेके चले जाओ भाई, charge नहीं करने, ऐसा नहीं, guys मत करो. Okay, Neil, I have one question. Basically, in India, we have thousands of types of dietary restrictions.
Millions.
Millions, right? For different reasons also. How do you ensure in a foreign country that everybody's dietary restriction is met properly?
So if you're on a group tour, it kind of can become difficult also, but because people will be vegetarians who eat chicken on a Monday and Wednesday, for the example, right? People will tell you that they are non-vegetarian, but when an anda curry comes to them, they don't like it and they're like, oh, nahi, aaj main vegetarian hu, I'll have the pizza. So it's basically learning over the last 10 years of what different dietary requirements can come, right? And then back in the day, companies like ours were known to take cooks all around the world. But today, we've just abolished that because we feel restaurants that give good food, could be Indian food, could be international food exist all across India, all across the world. So the food that we prepare is a good combination which will cover at least 70% of the dietary requirements. You might say that, okay, I don't have red meat, then there is generally a chicken or a fish that is kept for you. But it is basically learning every single day through every traveler that travels with Veena World. And you can't please everyone. But at the same time, if you don't give good food on a trip, it's like you're not you when you're hungry, right? So people don't really enjoy the trip. So it can become a hassle, and we have seen it become a hassle. But after the 10 years and with so many travelers traveling with us, we have managed to build systems in place where our tour managers on their app will have the menu that a restaurant is going to serve you in the evening. So they can foresee which travelers may have a problem with it. So it's just building system intelligence in, and it happens. But it can be chaos sometimes also, I'll be honest.
On dietary restrictions, why we've seen people stay at villas is because they want flexibility with their meals. Because ghar hai, the kitchen is accessible to you. Especially if it's a senior citizen or if you have infants. You don't want them to be having hotel food or restaurant food, right? So they want lesser spicy food or less oily food. With kids, you might just want, you yourself preparing that food for them. So all of that flexibility is something we've seen a lot of guests wanting to stay at these villas. And second, I would say, is with respect to vegetarian, non-vegetarian, right? There are a lot of people who want to only go to a vegetarian restaurant or a vegetarian only house. They don't want that house to have ever served egg or chicken at all. So we've seen those requirements as well, and a lot of our homes are actually just veg only, because the homeowner as well wants to ensure that is how they have always kept their home, is respected in the same way by guests who come there. But there are enough guests who really appreciate that. So I think that was a big learning for us over the last few years.
Amit, vegetarianism, non-vegetarianism is one aspect, but I understand that you go even one step further to personalize the experience for your guests. So, what are some of the things that you do that caters like to personalize experience for the guests?
So what we've seen is a lot of guests come to us to celebrate. So a celebration, whether it's a reunion, whether it's a birthday, whether it's an anniversary, whether it's a family get together after a very long time, Rakhi ke liye, Diwali ke liye. So we have a lot of those events taking place. So we call every stay an event. So वो stay के लिए, वो event के लिए क्या करना है, we have to do everything for them.
Got
So whether it's taking care of the food that they'd like to have, whether it's decorations for that special occasion, whether it's spa services that they want. So typically what you'd get in a resort, right? You want to ensure you get that same experience in a home as well. So it's marrying both the worlds, whether it's a home and a hotel, combining that, and you get it in the comfort of a home.
Yeah.
So everything we have to take care of. So it's been really fun or exciting to be part of, like, say, a 90-year-old's birthday at our villa, right? With their family of over 30, 40 people who came together. Or people have celebrated their 60th anniversary or their kid's first birthday. And then we have to keep customizing it to their requirements for these events. But also on a day-to-day basis, whether someone is coming there and saying, do not disturb me at all. Just leave me alone in the house. I don't want to cook. I don't want any staff. I'll take care of everything. Sure, we can do that. To someone saying that I want someone there even up to 3 a.m. in the morning to be there as a butler and a bartender to take care of us. That is also something we're able to provide. So the entire flexibility is something that comes with staying at a villa.
That's amazing. What is the craziest request that you have entertained?
The craziest request that we've had to entertain. I'm trying to remember now. People aren't that crazy here.
Yeah.
You would think Indians have all kinds of quirks and requirements, but they're quite generic in what they're looking for. They're looking to celebrate. They're looking to just have a great time with their friends or family. Some people might want that, hey, I want a pool party throughout the night. So can you decorate the whole place as well with that? People who have pets, a lot of people coming with pets actually want their pet to swim as well. That's not something a hotel would allow you to do. So I wouldn't say it's a crazy requirement, but these are requirements that unfortunately are unfulfilled for a lot of people. So pet parents just love it. They have this massive area for their pet to go wild in, even go swim in the pool.
That's nice, man. Wow. So many things you don't know about the world, what you come to know through this podcast. इसलिए दोस्तों like करो, subscribe करो. Pranav, I understand you must be having to, when you open a new hostel, you must be having to research a little bit and find out what are the local activities that you can do.
Yeah.
How do you partner with the local guys? Is there a process?
Yeah. So every place that we open, we just not open that particular property as a hostel, but we also come up with at least 10 to 15 products around it. It may range from city tours. It may, let's say in a city like Goa, there are water sports. We do kayaking trips. We do a lot of waterfall day tours around Goa. So, we have a team who does a lot of research from the time that we identify that particular destination till the time we open it. We work with a lot of local partners. It is absolutely necessary in our sort of business operations. They range from, they may be adventure operators, adventure activities operators. They may be cab operators, transportation operators. They may be tour guys. For example, in Delhi, there's something called as Delhi by Delhi Bicycle, and a lot of other companies that exist who do a lot of Chandni Chowk tours, who do a lot of New Delhi tours. So we do a tour called as Golden Triangle Tour, where people from Delhi go to Agra for a day and then to Jaipur and come back to Delhi. So local operators, I would say those people who are involved in ancillary. So we call this as ancillary activities, and they are the best experts of their regions, and nothing goes beyond. I mean, without incorporating them into our operations. But for the customers, we have digitized everything. So we operate on a setup where we have made an app which is probably like a Book My Show, where we list all these events which are happening in the city, maybe curated and operated by us, but there are a lot of events also that are happening in the city that a particular guest has traveled to. So people book that. We get a lot of people. So today we have a lot of cities where we have multiple hostels. Like in Bangalore, we have 5 hostels. In Rishikesh, we have 4 hostels. So a lot of people from different hostels, even if they are living in different properties, they come together during the time of these events, and that's how we do a lot of community activities. And obviously, I mean, local partners play a very important role.
What is the craziest community activity, or what is something offbeat?
So I'll tell you about the food and beverage event that we did. So firstly, we are 100% vegetarian F&B service in across all our 60 properties. Though we host foreigners, but yeah, a lot of foreigners have now moved on to vegan, eating vegan and vegetarian. So once we did an activity where we had people from 25 different nationalities in the hostel. We opened the kitchen for them and told them, you guys have to cook. We'll give you the kitchen for 1.5 hours, give you all the ingredients and everything. And you guys have to cook one dish, whatever is famous from your country. And then it's sort of a potluck. So by the end of it, we had 25 different nationalities and their dishes under the same roof. And that was one activity that we did. But we'll keep on doing a lot of activities. Like
What are the 25 countries? Just trying to get a sense. If it's like Nepal, Sri Lanka, then it's
no. So we get people from Europe. So majority of people who come to us who are foreigners come from Europe. Then we have South American countries. We have North America. We have Southeast Asia. We have Australian. A lot of Australians travel to India and Southeast Asia. So yeah, I mean, it's not just Nepal or Sri Lanka or Thailand, Vietnam. Yes, definitely.
मास्टर शेफ ही करा दिया आपने किचन में.
I mean, it was not judged by anyone, to be precise, but it was for everyone, so that people can come together and probably have a good
That's
time.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's I mean, I would love to be part of that actually.
Sure. We would like to host you sometime.
Yeah, for sure. First stand-up comedy show, then 25 nationalities food I would like to eat.
First comedian though.
25 nationalities and comedian.
Yes.
Okay, great. That's amazing. Guys, one more question to all of you. Generally, are people traveling way more after the pandemic? And if so, then what has changed? Why are people traveling like revenge travel? Why are they doing this?
I think Amit should take the lead on this because his business took off like crazy after the pandemic started seeding.
What we saw during the pandemic was actually because people were working from anywhere and studying from anywhere, right? बच्चों को school नहीं जाने की ज़रूरत थी. People were just on their laptops and working. They were literally going anywhere and everywhere. And I think similar at hostels as well,
Yes,
right? Like
absolutely.
people were staying there for long time periods.
Yeah.
Whether it's staying for a month, we had some people who stayed with us for 2 years.
What?
During that pandemic time period. They were Bombay, Delhi mein nahi rehna hai. We're going to be out and about. That's where we're actually going to live a quality life. So that is what took place during that COVID time period. But I think things normalized post 2022. Because again, offices khul gaye, wapas, schools khul gaye. So your weekdays again became a challenge in terms of traveling. But there was still some flexibility that continued. People were allowed to say, go on a Friday, work from somewhere else rather than office and come back on a Monday. to work, right? So people's weekends have suddenly become longer, is what we've seen.
Yeah.
So Friday to Sunday or Friday to Monday has become a weekend rather than just going on a Saturday and coming back on a Sunday. So what would they do? For like a shorter trip, they'll go somewhere nearby that they can get to very easily. So whether it's a flight of 1-2 hours or whether it's driving down for 2 to 5 hours to get somewhere, that's what we've seen people do during these time periods. And I think other than sort of these weekend getaways, people, as we were discussing earlier as well, right? Like people are constantly looking to do something. Every 2-3 months, kuch to karna hai.
Right.
Kahin to chalte hai, kuch to karte hai.
Got it.
Yeah.
Have you also seen a spike during the pandemic?
Yeah, so I'll give the example of just a Dubai, Abu Dhabi, right? If you see flight fares, Friday evening and Monday morning return are the most expensive from the metros to Dubai or to Abu Dhabi. That's because people want to spend their weekend maybe in a Mahabaleshwar or a Dubai, right? And I often have this weekly newsletter that I write to all of the people who have traveled with Veena World. And the replies we get is that, okay, this weekend I want to go somewhere. Give me an option. So, yeah, people are definitely traveling more. That's for sure. But now the places that you can go to has suddenly, the variety has increased because airline connectivity is better. The stay options that you have within India also are much better. There are newer properties that have come and they need not be just hotels, right? There are hostels that have come. There are villas that you can stay at. There are like Havelis that are now run by like families and they think that, okay, we should do that. We should promote it to a larger audience. So people are wanting to go on a vacation as much as they can. And it's not only working professionals, at least for us, it's anyone. And we have this statistic where 33% of India actually travels during the month of May, right? April and May, because bachcho ka chutti, right? And that's why during the month of May, you start hearing that visas have become a problem. Someone's visas are stuck. They are not able to travel and all of that. That still exists, but now demand for travel has spread all through the year. And I'm saying that because people no longer just want to travel during a particular season. People want to travel at any time. Like I was in Goa last week and you had never seen Goa as crowded during the monsoons as it is now. It's still not as crowded as it is in the winters, but people are okay going. People are like, high season ho, low season ho, we want to just travel, right? And if you're able to have those many options, then people will definitely travel. The hunger has definitely increased.
So I would say frequency of travel is a factor of money and time in your hand. Particularly, it has worked in our favor. The frequency with which people are coming to us sometimes ranges from 8 to 10 trips in a year. Because the price points in hostels are such. Plus, we have that advantage of hosting younger generation who are probably on work from home still while working with companies wherever they are working. We get a lot of freelancers, artists who are looking to create content, who do not really mind if they are in Bombay or in Manali or in Wayanad or anything like that. So with hostels, what we have observed is, yes, right after COVID, a lot of spike came in terms of revenge travel and everything, but all of that has now settled. People have gone back to their routine. However, with hostels particularly, we have seen that people are, as I told earlier also, people travel for no reason, and that's something is related to the price point that we offer. People don't have to think twice before traveling, and the audience that we cater to are absolutely, I would say, they don't mind planning trips suddenly. They don't. They are very spontaneous. If they like something, and if there is that thing is or that place is in their vicinity, they'll start traveling to that place right away. I mean, they'll not wait for it. So yes, definitely price point really matters in our case, and that is. And that's why we are seeing people taking 6 to 8 to 10 trips every year with us. and they like to explore, and they have come to a realization that okay, if the hostler is there somewhere, we'll get a standardized service. We don't have to think twice before booking it. So yes, we have also enabled. Plus, the market has become such that people are traveling more and more now.
And you have scaled also massively fast.
Yes,
Very
yes.
fast. How did you achieve it? Like,
So right after COVID or right after COVID, we were somewhere at 17 properties. Since then, I think next 2.5 years, we have grown to 60 properties now. How did we do that? Was we were a little smart during the COVID times. We picked up 7-8 assets while the market was down. So that was one thing that we did. And in fact, we did not raise much money during the last 3 years. All of it came through a new model that we built. We tweaked the model a little bit, and that helped us scale in the last 2.5 years. So yeah, I mean, it has been very grueling journey so far, but yes, it has resulted into some good things for the brand. We think that okay, the market is so huge, and we can expand to more and more cities now.
got it.
Yeah.
Similar question to you, Amit. Like, how do you, like when you see a new villa, how do you judge the potential? Like, how do you know, okay, you should take it up or not?
So I'll give you a sense of that journey that's taken place. When we first started working with villa owners, what would we do? How would we reach them? We used to go online. We used to go on Airbnb. We used to see which owner is already doing this. We used to see the quality of the photos. We used to see their content. We used to see their reviews. We used to see one metric that you see on Airbnb also called response rate. So if the response rate is say 60% out of 100, that means this person is not very active. He's
Got it.
not actively responding to all the guests that reach out to them. So clearly this person needs help. That's how it started off. So it was very easy to reach out to them, tell them, hey, we would love to help you ensure that you have a 100% response rate and you have more guests come and stay with you. The quality of the photos was so bad. People are just taking photos with their old photos, not the good quality photos you have and phones you have today with. So like old phones, they're taking these photos and it was all pixelated. These were such simple things to fix. We did that and automatically those properties started doing much better than what they were doing earlier. That was the start. The second thing we started doing was we used to look at satellite maps. So Google Maps would help us say, look at properties in Alibag. In Maharashtra, you typically want a villa with a pool.
Right.
Because of the weather,
Yeah.
it's tropical weather, people want a water body that they can spend time in. So using Google Maps, you were able to identify which villas have pools. You were
Genius.
able to pin those. We used to go door to door, try to connect with the homeowner saying, "Aap StayVista ko doge kya
And
property?"
some guys like, that's not a pool, guys, it's a tarpaulin. Why have guys?
So that was the start. But as we started working with a few owners, they started referring us to others.
Nice.
And generally, again, what happens is that I will tell you over a dinner or a party that, hey, I'm giving out my villa, बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं ये लोग, आप भी कर लीजिए, if that person has a villa. So then they start opening up to the idea that, hey, even I should start doing this. This seems like a very professional way of doing it and I'm making certain revenue on this asset of mine, which was an expense. मैं महीने का 1-2 लाख दे रहा हूँ बस ये property चलाने के लिए, वो रामू काका को रुपया देने के लिए. Right? All of that changes as soon as you start hosting guests over here.
Yeah.
So that word of mouth is now primarily how we continue building out this network of villas.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing because without this, the villa quickly goes from being an asset to a liability, right?
Correct.
It's like
Yeah.
it's just a huge deteriorating property.
Absolutely.
If nobody's taking care of it properly or like monetizing it properly.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay. So next thing I want to discuss with y'all is how do you market your services? Like you have an unconventional approach. You run a podcast from your own office only.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So, we realized early on that, everyone talks about just going digital. And we realized that India is such a market where the dividends that a print media will give you are far greater than what digital gives you. Today, with a budget of 500 rupees, you can start a digital campaign. But the moment you run full page ads in the Times of India or the regional dailies, you suddenly have credibility with a brand. And today, if 4 people want to go to Europe, they're spending about 8 or 10 lakh rupees, right? All inclusive tours. That's hard earned money. And anyone can become a travel agent today. You just need an internet and a laptop. So you want to put your money into something that you trust. So we have a complex web of marketing activities that we do, which include print media. To a large extent, you will see big ads in newspapers. We do a lot of podcasts, done more than 500 episodes because pandemic mein karne ke liye zyada kuch nahi tha, no one was traveling.
500 episodes?
Yeah, so we have 3 podcasts. One is called Travel Explore, Celebrate Life, long form. We have a 5-minute travel tips podcast, which the idea came about when I was sitting on a plane. The plane landed and suddenly everyone stood up. The plane stood out to pick their bags and all of that. And I was just like, why does everyone have to stand the moment the plane lands, right? So I was like, chalo podcast karte hai. So we did a weekly podcast on that. Have many fun episodes over there. Short one. We have a Hindi podcast, Marathi podcast. So that's one marketing mechanism. The newsletter really helps us get to an audience where we cover interesting stories. We have curiosity building things also, which we call Know the Unknown. Like if I want to pitch a question to you, it's like I'll ask you, name 7 countries that start and end with the same letter, but that letter can't be an A.
Oh,
And you can ask listeners to comment with the names.
guys, if you comment all 7 correct, then you get free trip to Antarctica or Malad. We don't know.
Well, the first one to comment, we can give a gift voucher of 2,000 rupees. If you
Awesome. Yeah.
let's give away that.
2,000 rupees gift voucher you'll get. Please comment 7 countries that start.
7 countries that start and end with the same letter that can't be an A.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we have such curiosity building things. We often ask you that how many countries have you traveled to? How many states have you traveled to? We have done a lot of gamification on our website. So at different points in time, when you think of travel, we want Veena World to provide you with an answer. And generally, most people will just do SEO, people will write blogs and all of that. Companies like ours, which are into leisure travel. But we have tried to create this ecosystem because we have these 350 tour managers who exclusively work for Veena World, right? And they become influencers in their own right. They'll probably click photos, they'll do many things while they are on tour. So to get the customer who we call a guest at Veena World, it's not like I'm just selling you a package that, okay, I've launched this package to Antarctica, book it. But why should you go to Antarctica? What are you going to see over there? So it's a longer journey. The transaction cost is also higher, right? So convincing someone becomes a longer process.
Right.
But all of these marketing tools that we use really come in handy. And over the last 4 years, we have really invested in technology where the journey that a customer goes on are really mapped out depending on the countries you visited, depending on the states that you visited. And that has really helped us, one, increase retention because it's just easier. And when we are doing a lot of these marketing activities, it kind of plays an indirect role in the customer at least calling Veena World to find out about a holiday. And we are in that scheme of things where people might come to us, ask, do you have a package to this particular place? And if it's a yes, then they'll definitely come to us.
Amazing. I mean, you do so many things.
Yeah.
Too many things. You should stop few things. There's too many things. But no, that's great. Actually, when you one thing still playing in my head is when you mentioned that the flight lands and everybody stands up. I really thought it's an India-specific phenomenon. And
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
You know, we did an experiment, okay? During a time when most of our tour managers were there, we were like, for the next 3 months, we identified 20 tour managers and we asked them to track 3 passengers on a plane who stand up and see how long they take to go to the exit, and you who are sitting until the plane reaches the bay and all of that, how long you take. And tour managers take hundreds of flights, right? And we found out that probably only 5% of the time that you will really save time. And one of the worst things that crew on airplanes have to deal with is these people who stand up, right? And it's not only like, oh, people who are traveling on their first flight are standing up. You see corporate people, consultants and all just pull out their laptop and start working and all of that, right? So that's what fueled us to create all of this, because travel in India is still very nascent. India is not traveling. And if everyone goes one step closer towards becoming a smarter traveler, your experience is just elevated. Like, people still carry those suitcases that don't have wheels, right? And if you can, it's all about telling someone, because people don't know, right? Many people still don't know how to use an escalator, right? First time travelers and all of that. So we've created this content web just to elevate the travel experience, not only for our travelers, but all across the board. And we feel that if people understand how to travel better, they'll just, like we call it celebration of life. They'll just celebrate life wherever they go, right?
Amazing. What are your digital strategies? Do you do influencer partnerships? And if yes, then give me.
For us, it's two-pronged. It's content and community. On the content front, we actually create a lot of content ourselves. Each home is beautiful. And our team goes out and captures photos, videos of these properties that then we can showcase. Again, because each property is different. It's not just the same hotel that looks the same that is put across on social media. 1,000+ properties that we have, just get every day we can showcase something new to guests in a different part of the country. So that works really well for us. That has helped us to grow our social media reach. I think in hospitality, we might have the highest number of followers in India on Instagram, about 600K plus.
That's a lot.
And we've not paid for anything. Right?
Just people are watching just houses.
Yeah, they're just watching these places, adding them to their bookmark list, sharing it with their friends, spouses, etc. And I think one is creating our own content. Second is working very closely with influencers who showcase what is that experience living at these properties. So it's a mix of both of that helps us get that reach. And then on the community side, I think we've done it slightly differently from how people have generally done it. We focused on a few communities that we feel are underappreciated and need the recognition that is a lot of times missed out on. Simply say the moms community, right? Mothers who a lot of times are the planners of these trips. No one really recognizes them in any way. So we created and a lot of them, if they're homemakers, they don't get a chance to sort of showcase their talent or their experience, which is even taking care of a home is a difficult task. So we created a program called Homemakers, who would go and inspect our homes, give us feedback on which homes are well maintained, which homes need, certain sprucing up to do, whether it's from a housekeeping point of view, from a maintenance point of view, from a food point of view. So these guys get free holidays from us to go and check and audit our homes. That's one. The second community that we wanted to cater to...
Sorry, my mom is calling. Yeah, can you inspect some homes?
The second was the defense forces. Generally, again, we'll remember them on Independence Day, Republic Day, but is there anything that we're really doing for them? This currency that we have is our villas and stays at these properties, right? So once a year, we offer them a free stay. You come with your friends or family and stay with us. It's all on us. So
amazing.
Our entire community of homeowners are so proud to do something like that. All it took was to tell them, hey, we'd love to do this. Are you in for this? We did the same thing for our Olympians in the last month. So we put this up and literally within an hour, we got a call from Lakshya saying that I'm going to Goa tomorrow. I'd love to stay with you guys. So I think just again, Olympics where on social media, everyone was praising all of these athletes. Uske baad kisi ne kuch nahi kiya. So we thought, let's do something post the Olympics to honor them and recognize them. So there are all of these different communities that we try to, sort of work closely with and do something for them.
Amazing. Which house Lakshya Sen stayed in? Because
it was in Goa. He stayed at a villa called Casa Cyclone.
Does it have a badminton court?
It did not have a badminton court. I think he wanted to take a break from playing badminton.
Great. Okay. Awesome. How do you market?
So for us also, I think it's all about content and community. Though community in our sort of setup works a little differently. For example, we do a lot of events. We have something called as Campus Ambassador Program, which runs across 50 colleges in the country. We do a lot of sponsorships in the colleges during their events, during any festivals that they have in the college. But at the end of the day, I think the kind of sector or this kind of subcategory that we are in, all our guests are younger generation, millennials and Gen Z. So we do a lot of content creation. Earlier, we used to do content around, I would say, the place that we are opening at, the property, showcasing the property and everything. But then slowly and gradually, we realized that there's a need to move away from showing properties and destinations to showing stories that get created in the hostel. So we do a lot of personalized stories. There was a campaign that we did long back, which was Human of the Hosteller. So a lot of interesting guests who used to come to our hostels. We used to create content around them. We received a guest who came from Spain, who was 75-year-old, rode his bike, came to India, and he was going even to Southeast Asia. So we did a story around it, and we that campaign was that everyone should travel. The age does not really matter. So at the end of the day, content produced by us, the marketing team, but also the content produced by which is the UGC, the user generated content, also helps us market our business. Apart from that, I feel that the kind of sector that we are in, reviews, word of mouth plays a lot of important factor. Gladly, the OTAs of the world like Booking.com, Make My Trip help us reach a broader audience. They have bigger budgets to market. They do a lot of performance marketing that gets us visibility, and they try to showcase those brands which are probably 20, 50, 100 properties strong. And that's how also we get a lot of visibility. But one thing that we have done very, I would say, fantastically is that we have kept in mind what happens with a guest after he checks out. Okay. So we have made our customer funnel such that we keep in touch with all those people who have checked out from our premises and have become our customer. And then when do they come back again? How do we pull them back again to our hostel? So we do a lot of interesting campaigns, like when a new property gets launched, we roll out 100 free nights for people who have stayed with us for less than or greater than 3 nights or 3 times. So a lot of activities happen to bring them back. And that's why I think we have quite a high repeat customer ratio as well. So all in all, I think the kind of industry that we are in, a lot of it gets driven by the content, by what is it Instagrammable or not? Can we create a FOMO feeling in people who are viewing our content? So that's the thing that we do.
Super.
Yeah.
Great. Just one last question, and then we done. The question is, what is your sales cycle typically like? Like from the first communication with the customer to closing it, how long does it take? What are the steps? You can start with Amit.
Yeah, so because it's a group, generally there's this one person who's the decision maker. We call them a chief happiness officer because वो पूरे group को खुश रखने के लिए इतना effort डाल रहे हैं. And they take the initiative to first reach out and inquire about a place and understand everything that can be done over there. And then they'll share all of those links on a WhatsApp group with all their friends or family that they're traveling with. So the entire journey we've seen to make everyone agree to a place takes about 2 to 3 days. So it's a 2 to 3 day discussion that takes place with our concierge team and that group internally to decide, I'm going ahead and staying here. That's sort of the journey we've seen taking place. Also, what we've seen sort of a transition is initially everyone wanted to talk. So rather than thinking of the entire journey as an online journey, we realize every guest has questions that they want answered.
Right.
Because it's a big group. Like imagine they're spending 50,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees on a stay for a couple of nights. There are questions that they want answered. And it's not a typical hotel, right? Jahan pe, you'll get this kind of a bed and restaurant, etc. It's a villa. It's for many of them, it might be the first time they're going and staying over there. They want to know khana kaun banayega, how far is it from the market, etc. I think that worked really well for us. So we always ensured that they could talk to us, they could chat with us on WhatsApp, so that any of the questions get answered. And that built trust. But the second or third time, then they were just immediately booking online themselves. But there was that assistance that we needed to provide initially. And that takes about 2 to 3 days.
Got it. Awesome. For you, Neil?
So we often believe in a hybrid model. So for us, the decision maker could contact us on call, email, drop a comment on some post on social media, or just walk into an office. Whichever way you contact, at the end of the day, we should be able to pitch the right product to you, because it can't just be like, oh, agar aapko Europe jana hai, ye lo, ek hi tour hai, right? So there are hundreds of options. So whether it's a new customer or a customer who's coming back, it's at the end of the day, the sales advisor who takes it offline. Like Amit mentioned, it has to be a very personal process, because online, if someone wanted to book, they wouldn't come to us any which ways, right? So they have come to us, so we have to become that person who answers any question that you may have before booking or even after booking. So you may contact us through any medium, but once you have contacted us, if you're a repeat customer, we have all of your history. We know how many countries you have been to. We know whether you have valid visas or not. Now, on the basis of that, our sales advisors are trained to recommend certain products. We use a little bit of tech to recommend products to the sales advisor who can recommend it ahead. And once you have booked, I guess that's where the journey actually starts, because that's where we can build differentiation in terms of the information that I'm providing you post booking, because visa is always a pain, right? You get a visa, you want to throw a party sometimes. So am I giving you the right information for your visa? Am I giving you the right information that if you're flying out of Bombay and if you're flying to south of India somewhere, sit on the left side of the plane so you can get a great view of the sea link or something like that. So small nuances like this, small things that I could tell you about your holiday to make it a better experience, is how the entire customer acquisition cycle works. And because we believe in this people aspect so much, today we have about 450 people sitting out of our office and doing many of these things alone. And people contact us after a trip saying that, okay, now I want to build my travel portfolio.
Crazy.
Where I want to decide which countries I tick off this year, the next year, which states of India I tick off during that time. And India has become this place where people have a bucket list for everything, right? People want to complete 25 countries, people want to complete 50 countries. So people want to plan their holidays over the long term. And we have a guest connect team at Veena World. We help them do that. And we've seen that if people actually are guided in the right way, they'll just keep coming back to you, because that's all they want.
Amazing. I think it's the personal touch that really sells it for both of you. What about you, Pranav?
I think it's exactly opposite of what I'll tell you. We are a D2C company. We sell through two platforms, OTAs and our website. Both of them contribute 50%. But we have absolutely zero people in our guest connect team or lead management or anything. We don't produce any leads. Zero leads is the business built on. Everything that we have to offer to the guest is put live onto our website or on OTS. People can go choose whatever information they require. Everything is available there. If they want to know the Google Map location of the property, that's there. If they want to know what a typical itinerary would look like for them for 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, it is there on the website. How to reach, what are the timings, what to do, what not to do, what are the policies, everything is digitized. So we see, because we play in that price point where we have to be very lean, and that's what we have done. We are lean and digital.
Got it.
And the guests who come, the bookers, the customers who come to us are all tech savvy, and they know where to find information. Plus, I think as Neil said, what matters is what happens after they book. So in hospitality, generally people book us at least 7 days, 5 days in advance, and they check in obviously after 5 days. So for those 5 days, the person is our customer. We can sell more to them. And that is where what we did is we digitized the entire experience from booking to check-in to check-out, where a person can book more services, like he can book an activity with us, he can book an airport transfer with us, all through digital mediums. Till today also, if you, let's say, plan to go to Goa, you will have to call your guy or take a reference from your friend कि कोई taxi वाले का number दे दे यार, but I want a rental car in Goa or rental bike in Goa. But nobody has to call no one in our setup where everything is right on your phone and everything can be booked right away. So it gives them a sense of security. They trust us because they have booked us, and we can sell more. So that's what we have done. We really strongly believe that the kind of expansion and inventory that we'll hold someday in the future, human touch, yes, we definitely give human touch once they arrive at the property. But before that, I think everything can be digitized in the world that we live in.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How two completely different approaches, but both work amazingly well.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Superleap podcast about travel and stay. We wish you all the best with everything, and we wish very many free vouchers and very many free stays at your villas and hotels and hostels and travels and tours and packages. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. And please, all of you, like, share, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Follow us everywhere. And goodbye.